Hi, Hector. Come on in, have a seat. Hector, I'm glad you're here. Tell me what brings you in.
Well, about 4 or 5 months ago, I was in a bad car accident. It left me with very limited mobility on my right side, from my leg all the way up to my arm, a lot of pain in my shoulder. It's been a lot to deal with physically, obviously, but I think the biggest challenge that I've been facing, and one of the reasons I'm here, is just I'm not happy, and unfortunately, because of what's been going on, it's just, I don't know, I think I've just lost my value, as a person, considering that I can't do a lot of what I used to be able to do.
Mm. Yeah, it sounds like you're in a lot of pain, and you feel like you don't have value anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me, you mentioned being unhappy. What does that mean for you? What does it mean that you're unhappy? How has that affected you?
Before, the car accident, I would wake up, I would go to work. I work in construction. It's what I've always loved to do. Come home, see my beautiful wife and kids. Things just seemed perfect, and
Mm-hmm.
the paychecks were coming in regularly, and everything was always falling into place. And ever since this has happened, well, one, I haven't been able to work, but two, because I have such limited mobility now, I don't think I'm gonna go back to work. At least doing what I used to do.
Well, I'm getting the sense that work sounds like a big priority for you, and sounds like something that you take a lot of pride in.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about how this has affected your family.
Well, yeah, and I guess just to share a little background, sometimes it's hard for some people to understand, but having a Hispanic background, the males have always provided for their family. My dad provided for us as kids and provided for my mom. And I just always hoped to do the same for my family. That when I came home, there was food on the table. My wife didn't have to go to work. She could stay home and spend time with the family. And not being able to do that, it's unimaginable for me.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, because of that, I haven't had the self-worth that I used to have. And now I drink a lot, and I don't know what to do, I guess, to handle those feelings, so
Mm-hmm.
just finding ways to make it less painful.
So you mentioned feeling unworthy. What makes you feel unworthy?
I'm sure it's just me. My wife always tells me that, no matter what, we're going to work through it, and she's not with me, for the money or for this. And, but it's not about what she wants for me. It's about what I want for my family. And it's what I've always told myself ever since I was little that I was going to do, and that was provide for them.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't provide for them, what worth do I have? My brothers and sisters call all the time, and they say, "Oh, when are you going back to work?" And I don't know if they fully understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to talk about it. I guess you could say I'm a little ashamed, for whatever reason. It's just, you lose your worth when the one thing you want to do you can't do.
Yeah. It sounds like family's important to you, and I can definitely tell that you kind of feel that sense of unworthiness, like you said, or that sense of being ashamed. So if you were to wake up tomorrow and everything was completely better, how would that look?
Gosh, I think of that every day. You always hope that you're just gonna wake up, whatever it's gonna be. You think, oh well, tomorrow's a different day, and maybe things will be better. My next doctor's appointment will be better. But I go back to work, and bring home a steady income for my family, and to be able to work hard, knowing that I'm out there working for my family, and that when I get to come home and I'm tired, and sometimes I don't feel like doing nothing, that I still find the time and the energy to play, with my kids, and still help clean up around the house a little bit. Go back to, I guess, what I would call normal, normal for me,
So you would go back to kind of the way things were.
The way
is what
things
you're
used
saying.
to be. Yeah. Gosh, I'd love that.
Yeah, sounds like your family motivates you, and you're happy with your work. These are great things to have, and great things to really look forward to. I think those are great, and I love that. So it sounds like you're kind of struggling with this idea of, you know, maybe loss of your job and loss of some of your mobility. And you said work is important to you. Are there other opportunities within your job to still do the same, to still work at the same company or still do the same type of job, just maybe in a different area?
I think there is. You know, I haven't, I guess you could say, thought about that before. You know, I just, you get so comfortable doing what you're doing. And, you know, I started doing construction fresh out of high school. You know, it's the only thing I've ever known. It's the only thing I ever thought I'd know, you know, but there are jobs there, you know, the administrative stuff, and who knows what they do, right? I've never done it, but they're there. You know, there are people that don't have to do as much lifting, whether it's just, you know, ordering supplies and tools, or maybe just handling calls, you know, setting up those contracts, you know, for us to go out and do the work.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like that's something that is important to you. Would you be interested in doing something like that if your situation doesn't go back to normal? Do you feel like you would be able to look into a job like this?
I think so. I mean, would I be passionate about it at first? Probably not. You know, I love working with my hands. There's just something so gratifying, you know, about being able to take what you were born with and build something for someone. But that's not to say it's the only thing I could do. You know, like I said, another position might not be as gratifying at first, but I'd certainly be open to it. You know, anything to provide for my family, you know.
So what would be something that could motivate you to feel good about taking one of these other positions?
Maybe getting to know what opportunities there are. You know, like I said, I know there's people that do the jobs. I guess it does scare me a little bit because I don't know much about how they do those jobs. So to think like, you know, am I smart enough, or will I know how to do it? I think there's just a lot of unknown. And I think that's what's most intimidating, is the unknown, right? Because I've never thought about it, but maybe becoming more familiar with those jobs might be an opportunity, you know?
So there are other jobs available,
Yeah.
you believe, but you've never really looked into them before.
No.
And you've never had the desire to look into them before because you've always been happy with what you've done.
Yeah.
So knowing that, and you said this is something you would possibly be interested in and looking into other jobs, what is a goal we can set toward making you reach this goal of looking into other jobs?
I think it honestly, it's just going to come down to talking with, you know, people that maybe are in those positions, or, you know, I have a lot of really good friends, not only in the company that I work for now, but just relationships that I've built throughout the years. You know, I might not know much about it, but maybe there's someone, you know, there that does, you know, and is familiar with those roles. So I think maybe a good goal would be to actually talk to people about it, you know, go and let them know, you know, what's going on with me, and asking them for their advice. You know, how do I get to these positions? What do they think maybe would be a good position for me?
Okay, so it sounds like you're saying opening up to people that you care about.
Yeah, I guess that's what it would take, right? I guess it's hard to say it, you know, you don't ever want to tell people that, you know, you're not capable of doing what, you know, most people are capable of doing. But I honestly think at this point, now that I've, you know, been doing nothing but sitting on the couch and drinking beer and watching TV and sitting there being unhappy with myself, At this point, I got nothing to lose, you know. So I think it probably is time that I open up. You know, maybe first with just the people I trust, and maybe move from there. You know, so the people understand one. I think first and foremost what I'm going through. Maybe so that they can help understand what type of position would be good for me.
So as we start to wrap up our session, let's look at one thing we can do that you can bring back next session to work your way toward accomplishing that goal of looking into other jobs.
I think one thing, and now that I've talked to you about it, I guess it's clear is I do need to open up with more people, you know, and I need to put in more effort into seeing what opportunities are available. You know, I haven't up until now. I guess I just didn't want to accept that I would have to do it, but I love my family. You know, I got to do whatever it takes for them, you know, and so I think that's just what it's going to be, is me getting out there with those people, and not just sitting at home where, you know, up until now hasn't worked, you know.
Yeah. So next session we can explore how that's gone for you. Talking to those people, opening up, and inquiring about positions that may be open to you and things that you're passionate about. Do those sound reasonable or manageable?
I like that. You know, it's going to be a challenge, right? I already feel so much better after today. I have to try, you know, and doing more than that seems like a lot, you know, but I think I'm comfortable with that. And then maybe we can talk about it next time and see what our next steps are going to be, and hopefully at that point, you know, feel a little bit more confident, you know.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have already felt a little more confident talking about it to me right now, and it sounds like maybe as you gain more confidence, you can even open up to others about it, and that's important. I've really appreciated you being here and talking about this. I know it's not easy to open up about. I know that can be difficult.
It is. I appreciate it. I feel so much better, and I think sometimes it's just getting it out there, you know.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for coming in today, Hector, and I will see you at our next session.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, have a great day.
You too. Thank you.